Hey guys, what's going on? Garrett with Executive Training Group, and today we are talking about truck guns or rifle, bag guns, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, versus kind of concealment and having a pistol on you while you're driving, maybe sitting next to you, whatever the case may be. The big misconception I think that happens with the idea of a truck gun or a bag gun is I don't see it as a fast method of getting a gun up and ready to go. The only way, even overseas, that we would carry our rifles was one in the chamber and like sitting right next to us. And that was mainly we were running bulletproof glass, so we're still gonna step out of the car and like grab the rifle. Trying to pull it out of a bag, we did the test, it probably took me about 18 seconds or so. To grab it from a bag, like unzip it and bring the gun out. I just think that's a little bit of an unrealistic scenario. If there really is something where I need a gun up and I need to go, I'm gonna go to this handgun first. So I'm just gonna share what I think my philosophy of quote unquote use for a truck or a bag gun is. So I think that they are very, very good if you are going on an extended trip somewhere where you are, driving somewhere that's like 4 or 5 hours away from home and you just don't know. There could be some civil unrest, some riots. You just don't know. Things are a little unsure. So I think it's a good insurance policy to have like a small chest rig with some magazines, maybe some medical equipment, a radio so you can listen, to emergency channels, things like that. And then a rifle in there. Having a rifle in there, I think, is a good idea. I do not see it as something to get to quickly. There's just too many things going on. And also, we want to talk about your vehicle. You're still in a vehicle, and lots of times, if I'm going to be in a self-defense situation, I don't want the hassle of trying to articulate why I pulled a rifle from a bag. And it just doesn't really line up in the current situation that I'm in. If I'm driving around town, I'm more mobile with a pistol to be able to drive my car while having a gun and one-handed, versus if I have a rifle, I'm sitting here trying to do stuff with a rifle. I can maneuver better with a handgun through the car, so I can be out front, I can duck around the side, I can come over this way. I'm a lot more maneuverable with the handgun. I can be a lot more aware of my passengers, what's going on, and I think that's just what's a super big, valuable thing for this handgun. The other thing I'm a really big fan of, and this is just kind of a teaching point, is actually in vehicles, I know it looks goofy, but temple index. This is a really good way to make sure you're not flagging the people if you're crawling around in a car, doing things like that, and it works really well with a handgun. So let's talk about a little bit of what I think the practicality of having a truck gun like this is. And I think the idea is if you're going somewhere, you're on an extended trip and things just get bad, whether it be the riots that we saw in 2020 or 2019, whatever it was, and you have to go through a big city, there's a reason that you're going to go into kind of a sketchy area. Maybe things degrade even worse than they did in the past. So having something that you can have an option, a secondary option that says, hey, I might be really, really outnumbered and outgunned. Now, the other thing I want to say about this though, and this is still even why when I look at truck guns, I always tell people, well, avoid it. Avoid riots. Don't drive through riots. There's so many ways to take an extra maybe 30, 45 minutes and miss downtown. In any city you're going through, wherever you live in the United States, it's pretty easy to just go around the downtown. So again, avoidance is always going to be my primary thing that I tell people. Hey, it's not a bad idea to have it, but this line I will say over and over again. Freedoms are a right, but they're also a responsibility. So, just think about that on a secondhand nature of if you're going into a courtroom and trying to articulate and explain why you whipped out a rifle from a bag, you're going to have to pass that reasonable person test. Was this a reasonable thing that you did to defend your life? And I think that's extraordinarily important for people to keep in mind. In conclusion, I don't think truck guns are stupid. That's not my opinion on them. I think they are a good thing to have, but I think sometimes because we have this cool ability to fold up a rifle or a pistol and put it into a bag, that we tend to try and where can we make that work? Where can we make that fit? And I think there is a place for it, but I think it is much more of a insurance policy in case things really, really degrade while you're out and about or you're doing things. Other considerations, this backpack, if you leave your truck, you have a backpack with a rifle in it. So are you going to be able to carry that everywhere you go? What am I going to do with storage? Those are things you need to think through, personal questions you need to answer for yourself about not getting your rifle stolen and in the hands of somebody else. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Just a little bit of information on bag guns, truck guns, and how they work.